Alright, today we're going to look at a very common problem with GM trucks. This is my 1999 GMC Yukon, and it has to do with the door handle. As you can see, it ain't working. My wife has to roll the window down and reach over and open it from the outside. We all know that's a pain, especially if it's raining or if it's cold or whatnot. So I don't mind being chivalrous and open the door for her, but she'd really like to be able to open the door from the inside. So let's score some brownie points with the missus, and let's get this door fixed for her. Alright, to get this door handle off, I used a 7mm socket to get these two screws out of the door handle. And there are little tabs just on the inside of this trim piece that you want to get your screwdriver on. Pull back. There's one up here. And one down below. And that trim piece comes off. This is held in by just a plastic clip. Kind of a booger to get out. Comes out with one plastic piece, and I'm going to go around the door using a screwdriver. I'm going to pop the plastic pieces out here. If you don't want to scratch your paint, just put a piece of cloth back there. I'm not too worried about it. Okay, I've got them all popped all the way around. Now all you have to do is just lift straight up. Comes off. Got several wires that you'll need to disconnect. One for the interior light, and you got your power controls to the doors and your speaker. Just get a little screwdriver, undo all those little clips. It's real easy. The simplest way to disconnect your harnesses is just pop this piece up, flip it over. That way you're not wrestling with the panel while you're trying to disconnect these wiring harnesses. You got to be real careful getting your panel off, because these clips are 16 years old, and if you know anything about older vehicles, these plastic pieces just get absolutely brittle. So be careful pulling it off. You don't want to break too many of these, and they will fall out of the panel and onto the ground, so be careful you don't lose them in the gravel or step on them. Alright, GM did something really smart here. They put a panel here. 7mm bolts hold it in. Just take it off, and you have quick access to your lever and your latches and all that stuff. I can stick my hand in here and I can pull the lever, and I can feel that the lever is still attached to the latch and everything's working and moving smoothly. So to me, there's no reason why this door shouldn't open. So if I shut the latch all the way down and lock it, if I pull on the handle, voila, it opens. So what's causing it not to open? Well, of all things, I think it's the interior trim piece. Alright, let me introduce you to the worst design in the history of the human race, this interior door handle trim piece. This is what's causing the door not to open from the inside. If you pull on it under normal power, it will not open, because the trim piece is hitting the door handle, keeping the door handle from traveling the distance it needs to travel in order to pop the latch. So to get it open, you got to overcome the pressure of this trim piece pushing on it and really pull back hard on that handle. Now I can button this all back up, call it a day, and tell my wife, just put a little more muscle into it and the door will come open. But you know as well as I do, these are weak handles and they snap. You've seen it too many times in this generation of GMC or GM trucks. So I don't want to have to pull hard, or have my wife have to pull hard, or my kid pull hard on this handle. Over time it's going to snap. I'm pretty fond of this thing being intact right now. I don't want to have to buy a new one. So I need to fix it. Well, how am I going to do that? I have an idea. Alright, so this is looking down into my door from the window. And as I pull the lever for the handle, you can see that it's connected with this little plastic clip, and it travels down the length of the door to the latch. There is a guide right here that the push rod will slide in and out of to keep it intact. The way I'm going to fix this, my idea is to take this push rod off, put a slight bend in it, and shorten the distance between the handle and the latch. That way this handle only has to move maybe this far instead of this far to open, and that way I can effectively keep it from hitting the trim piece. Alright, so what I've done is taken the plastic dust shield down. It's just got adhesive, it just peels right off. Careful not to tear it. But I've gotten it out of the guide here in the door, and I've got this large hole here in the door that I can get my hand up from the underside. I took a pair of needle nose pliers and I pushed from the underside and popped that thing out from right there underneath that white clip. So it just, a little bit of pressure and it pops right out. So what I've done is I've just put my finger here and just lifted up on here to make that initial bend. Then I'm going to take a pair of pliers, put it about right here, take another pair of pliers, and then I'm just going to bend it back down there. So you can see I've shortened it quite a bit by putting this S bend in it. I'll pop this back on, and that should fix this problem. Put the trim piece back on, and let's see if this did the trick. See if this works. Perfect. I barely had to put any pressure on this, and it opened the door handle, the door latch just fine. I can't believe that this trim piece is what caused this whole thing not to work in the first place. Putting that bend in the push rod has overcome a design flaw by GM. It's working properly now, and I'm the kind of guy, I gotta have stuff that works and works right. So be careful milling around inside here. You can cut yourself pretty easy on these sharp edges. But we're just going to put this dust cover back up, put our door panel back on, bolt it down, and call this a job. So a lot of effort just to fix about 1/4 of an inch to 1/8 of an inch of play in the handle. But you know what? The wife's going to be happy, and that's what's most important, right?